Here we are going live. And this is day 3 of intensive bartending training. Welcome to the live, guys. Starting with our audio and video checks.
What's up? How you been? How are you?
So we'll do an audio check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, so whoever's new, we're doing intensive bartending training. Now, day 1 was a couple months ago, and that was red or white wine service and methodology. We did take attendance on that live. So we had Slapping Turtle, Roblox, Beat, Jayco, Chilster T, Turo, Guap, Jim's the Clown, Kevin Yellow, Misbehaving, Kaywood, Oli Master, Gertie, and Coffee. And day 2 we did Rosé, Champagne, Responsible Alcohol Service. Attendance was Turo, Syed, Tilster, Gabbia, Coffee, Helby, Dang Fricker, 86, Shogun, Tim Fritz, and Kevin Yellow. And today is training day number 3, which is attributes for working in a bar, opening, closing procedures, customer service, and we'll touch a little bit on a review of responsible alcohol service and bar terminology review. Thanks everyone for joining. So I will be taking attendance on this. There will be a few more lives of intensive bartending training. We'll do mixology, shaken, stirred, poured, layered, how to get really and then make those drinks. Hey 86, how's it going? Hopefully the audio and video check is good. I'm on headphones today. So the hospitality industry is one of the fastest growing industries in North America. Your decision to train for a bartending position will give you a wide range of options for employment. Bartending can be in a workplace, it can be in a private establishment, it could even be at your home. You could choose to work in a small lounge, private club, curling club, golf club, yacht club, legions, etc. Medium to large size bars often have positions available as they have a high turnover of staff. Employees resign when they have an improved employment offer. Commitments require that they do not work late hours. Relocation to another area is often the reason given. Bartending skills will give you many alternatives for employment. So we'll get into attributes for working in a bar. So the attributes for working in a bar are knowledge of bar inventory, politeness, friendliness, knowledge of wine inventory, ability to judge when to stop serving customers, speed, cash skills, to be able to work well with fellow staff, ability to manage several orders at a time, accept criticism, maintain calm and take charge during emergencies. So you need to know where your emergency plan is and your first aid kit, fire extinguisher, how many people the establishment holds. Next is you would exercise patience when provoked by inebriated patrons. Formal and informal adaptation to your surroundings. We're responsible to make instant decisions, fire, medical, etc. Attending to customers' needs first. Remember, the customer is always the customer. They're always right. Respect for fellow staff regarding of their position. So bus person, dishwasher, everyone has a role to play, and it all equals out as a team. Attending to customers' needs first. Remember, the customer is always the customer, and if you have any issues, you consult with everyone else in the bar and you make the decision collectively. Air dirty laundry after the shift, never while on duty. So no gossiping, no exchanging numbers. Override personal feelings, never hold a grudge. Share work equally, prep work, cleaning, etc. Follow chain of command as set by the establishment. Contribute at staff meetings, both positive and negative comments. All the feedback is relevant. Examine career goals periodically. Try to alleviate stressful situations in the establishment. Share your knowledge. Don't push it on people. Those are the attributes for working in a bar. So the next live after this one in a few weeks, we'll be getting into shaking cocktails, building cocktails. We will do shooters, stirred strain. There's a lot of things involved in mixology. So let's go ahead and do opening procedures. Opening procedures involve signing in, bar keys, float, which is your money, check opening sheet figures, restock bar, make juices, clamato, tomato, milk, ice, bar picks. If you don't know what bar picks are, they look like swords or toothpicks that you can put your garnishes on and you rest them on top of your glass or inside the glassware. Cherries, olives, those are garnishes. Onions, lemons, limes. We'll get into cutting garnishes and having the correct garnishes available for your shaken, stirred, built, shooters, etc. Spices. So a lot of spices are used for rimming glasses. So we may use salt to rim a glass. We may use celery salt. We could use sugar. Hello, Adam. Welcome. So this is day 3 of intensive bartending training. You go through the previous lives. There's 1 or 2 more prior to this. So moving forward after these lessons, we'll get right into making drinks. I'll show you how to make a variety of drinks a different way. Back to opening procedures. So spices, then dishwasher, clean bar rags. It's really important your bar rags are clean. You don't want fungus, disease, any issues. Maybe the last bartender cleaned up something they shouldn't have with that rag. Wipe down the bar, wipe down the bar stools, and get your glasses clean and ready. So back in the day, you used to be able to smoke in bars. You would make sure your ashtrays are clean, if it is a private club or a household. If it's a commercial area, then you definitely make sure that your ashtrays outside the establishment are clean, filled with sand, etc. Nice and approachable for your staff and your customers. Lights. So you want to adjust your lighting accordingly. You may change that throughout the day or evening. Music, same, adjusted accordingly. Due to your gender, your type of people who are in, is it elderly people in the day, is it young people in the evening, we'd adjust our music. Mirrors. Mirrors are great, they're also dangerous. So mirrors are great. People like to look at themselves, people like to watch themselves dance, can be dangerous though. Carpet. Is your carpet vacuumed? Is the flooring vacuumed? Is it mopped? And washrooms. Are your washrooms clean? Is there paper towel? The toilet's clean, there's toilet paper. The locks and the handles work all correctly, check those. And cash tapes or credit vouchers. So if the establishment has a list of people who run tabs or have credit vouchers, gift certificates, things like that, you get that all ready before you open up. And finally, 25th on opening procedures is open front door. So open the blinds, open the door, disable any alarms, things like that. So that's 25 things you do on opening procedures. You can add or minus things from that, but that's general. Taking orders, things to remember, be organized. Be alert to side orders. Be ready with suggestions for undecided guests. Mark down stool or table numbers. You can also identify the customers by the things they're wearing. So you'd write on your order taking list, red shirt, blue hat, different things like that. Identify your customers' orders for their drinks or food. Mark down the stool number, table number. Specific requests are important. Repeat order back to the customer. In this situation, when you're order taking, be very aware if there's a host or hostess. You don't ever overstep that host. You would ask them what they want for their guests. When serving them, you would serve to the right of the table after them. Shortcut bar staff use in abbreviations when making a written drink order. A double rum on the rocks. Rocks is with ice. The twist of lemon could be written as DBL, RRTW for twist. So you can write it in abbreviations varying depending on the area. So Black Russian would be B. Russ, Brandy Alexander, BR Alex, Bacardi, BAC, Bloody Mary, Daiquiri, DAQ, Gibson, GIB, Gimlet, GIM, Grasshopper, Grass, Irish Coffee, IRC, Manhattan, MAN, Martini, MT, Old Fashioned OF, Rob Roy, Ira Roy, Screwdriver, Driver, Tequila, Sunrise, Tom Collins, Tom, Whiskey Sour, WS, Gin is a G, Rum is an R, Rye is RY, Tequila, TQ, Vodka is a B, Lime, L1, Olive, OL, Onion, ON, Twist, TW, Coke, C, Soda, S, Sprite, SP, Tonic, T, Water, W, or we'll say piece of water or aqua just to be funny because it just. So you'll get used to abbreviating your order taking. Double is DBL, dry is X, extra dry is XX. On the rocks is with ice, R straight up is without ice. You can write UP or up or straight up. Okay, so next is service for customers at the bar. Ensure counter is clean, welcome customer, make eye contact, offer usuals for regular customers, try to have it ready. As soon as you see them coming in the door, they love that. If you know that person is not going to order something different, you absolutely know, have it ready. Provide liquor and wine list, apply selling techniques, take order, write it down, provide coaster, napkin, ashtray, depending on the situation. Make order, deliver order, state the order to the customer, make sure they're getting what they ordered at that time and don't come back to you when it's half drinking later. Remove waste and empty glassware as quickly as possible can be dangerous. Replace beverage as required or take subsequent order. Always keep an eye around the bar surroundings. You don't want your customer to get down to an empty drink and be waving and impatient and other things are coming and they don't get their drink. People will walk out. Wipe counter periodically, keep track of customer drinks, collect customer accounts, and thank the customer. So we'll go into closing procedures. Refrigerate perishables such as milk and juices, any garnishes such as limes, lemons, cherries, onions, they go back in the fridge as well. Place cut up leftover food in covered containers. They should last for a day depending on the time of year and the length of time they have been at room temperature. Olives, onions, cherries must go back in the original jars and be refrigerated. Discard all unused bar snacks. Discard anything that may have fallen or touched the counter too. Wash glasses, ashtrays, bar tools, and equipment. Remove and soak speed pours. So I'll show you one day what speed pours are. They're simply a pour that goes on top of a bottle and you can control your shots and pour. So if anyone's seen the movie Kokomo, you can get really creative with your speed pouring. Grenadine and liquors will harden and restrict the flow. So you always want to keep with hot water your speed pours clean. So you just pop them off the bottle, clean them, and put them back on. Remove leftover ice and clean the ice bin. So ice is a very tricky thing if you're traveling internationally. They do recommend that you get your drinks without ice in unfamiliar areas because of things like hepatitis and other diseases. So keep that in mind. Sometimes you may want to go straight up, no rocks. Straight up, no rocks means no ice. A dirty bin will spread bacteria and is an undesirable odor to the ice. Clean and wipe the bar counter and then clean ashtrays. Clean sink, floor, and empty trash. And do the opposite of all the opening procedures. So make sure your bathroom's clean, make sure your lottery machines, cash are empty, they're printed out their evaluations, all the exact opposite of opening. So now we'll get into bar terminology, and this will all start to make sense as we move forward with making drinks. So there will be shaken, there will be stirred, there will be built, there will be shooters. I have a lot of hands-on material to show you guys. Now we'll start on lesson 4. So today we're on lesson 3. Lesson 1 we did red or white wine service, methodology. Day 2 we did rosé, champagne, responsible alcohol service. And today skills and attributes for working in a bar, opening, closing procedures, customer service, review of responsible alcohol service, and review of bar terminology. So bar terminology. Your back bar is the area behind the bartender used for liquor and glassware. Back or on the side is where you mix and serve separately. Bar brand is the least expensive liquor that the bar recommends from their host selection. Breakage, broken glass, utensils. Even onion and condiments bottles can get broken. Hi, Bishop. Yep, we're day 3 of an intensive bartending course of it. So if you decide to go back through the lives and see the first and second one, I am keeping attendance. And by the time that we're done, over the course of a few weeks, you all will be fully trained and up to work in a bar or in a residential area with product knowledge and hands-on training. So carafe. Carafe is a glass container for wine, holds half or a whole bottle of wine. We did show you that in wine service, and there's one size and a larger size. Chilling. It's a way to pre-cool glass using ice or fridge. Dash splash is a small amount. Dry or cocktails, wine, beer that denotes little or no sweetening. Easy is little ice. Flambe is an alcoholic beverage. It's set alight with fire after heating. So once we get through all this material and a few courses ahead, I will show you guys how to flambe things. It's very exciting. Alcohol catches on fire, guys. Float. It's the last ingredient added to the drink. Frappe mist. Served on crushed ice. Heating. An alcoholic beverage is heated in a ladle prior to adding it to the drink for flambe service. So again, we will enlighten you on flambe in the future. Neat, straight up is no ice. On the rocks is over ice. Rimming refers to frosting the rim of a glass or mug with salt or sugar. So you can use salt, sugar, celery salt. Depends on the drink. You can even use cinnamon. Select premium, deluxe, and call brands. The more expensive brands of liquor, example, Jack Daniels. Speed pour, a pouring spout for open bottles that allows for the smooth flow of liquid. Speed rail is a bottle holder fastened to the front of the bar, usually at the bartender's waist area. The bars most commonly use liquor and mix-ins. Simple syrup is a sweetener made from boiling water and sugar. A split is a small bottle, usually of wine or pop. So a Henkel Trocken Piccolo that you see at the exit of your liquor establishment, right by the cash. Those small bottles are a split. Shooter is a layered drink to be consumed in one swallow. Now shooters are going to be pretty much one whole live moving forward. There's a lot involved and a lot to make with shooters. They're very simple to do, but we're going to be very hands-on once we get into our drink making chat. Short refers to the size of the glass. A short glass versus tall is served in a tall glass. Topless is no salt or sugared rim. Virgin is cocktail without liquor. This is very common these days, these virgin drinks. Moving forward in life, a lot of people have chosen not to drink alcohol. So they may have a cocktail with no liquor, looks like the cocktail, all their friends don't know, the bartender knows. Wet. Martinis with more than usual dry vermouth. With is served with a glass. Some people just like to drink out of a bottle, etc. Bar procedures. It is the responsibility of the bartender to set up the bar for each day. This will require at least half an hour before your shift begins, or more. If you're prepared to make drinks, the beginning of your shift will be the time when you start to make tips. Also, taking the time beforehand to stock the bars would differ from any organizational point. It will not be necessary to take time away from serving customers to prepare garnishes. Check your liquor stock. Sanitation falls under health standards and is extremely important from a customer's viewpoint. When opening your bar, it must be spotless and kept tidy throughout your shift. Counters, glasses, ashtrays should be sparkling, even the toilet. Garnishes should be fresh and the ice pit should be filled to the top. You will be preparing drinks in view of the customer. Therefore, it is important to clean as you go. Perishable foods such as milk, tomato juice, and whipped cream must be refrigerated. Hot hors d'oeuvres must be kept hot to avoid drink-borne illnesses and food-borne illnesses. This is why they are kept under heat lamps. Germs are spread quickly by coughing, sneezing, touching glasses, towels, napkin, bathroom. Personal hygiene is extremely important for everyone in the bar. Hands should be washed before you begin work, before touching supplies and equipment, after smoking, using the washroom, eating food. You will be constantly washing your hands during work. Spills should be cleaned immediately. Bar cloths spread germs more so than any other item at the bar. If they are not washed in the laundry, they should be disinfected, usually with like a borax or bleach, an unscented laundry detergent, even a Noxil 9, Spray 9. Washing them in a warm soapy water does not kill bacteria. You need hot water, soap, or some of the things I just mentioned. Wash glasses as soon as possible after they're used. Bacteria grows quickly. They must be inverted and air dried. Fingers should not touch the top of the glass or be inserted in the glass at any time, whether they are clean or dirty. Which begs the question, and I will bring up, you don't carry your guest's drink anywhere near the mouth of the glass, always by the stem or the bottom. Replenishing the bar stock. Your most popular liquors should be your first opening procedure. The person who removes liquor from the storeroom signs for the bottles removed. The form used is called a requisition slip. In most bars, you would fill out a requisition slip for the liquor needed, and a manager or head bartender issues the liquor and signs the slip. Storerooms are locked, for few employees have access to it. This is one form of liquor inventory control by your establishment. Refrigerated beer and wine stock must be rotated. Draft beer is started by running water through the line, then reconnecting the hose to the keg. The beer faucet is opened and the water runs through, cleans the lines. Mixes are prepared next. The mixes your bar will use depends on the type of bar. Now, some people wouldn't know. You'd think that you make screwdrivers with orange juice, you make Shirley Temples with lemonade, all these guesses. Now, these mixes are from your bar supply or restaurant supply store. They come in a bag, you mix them in a bucket with water. And the reason why they use these mixes is because if you make all your drinks and drink them every day for a long time, you're going to have dysentery or bowel problems. Juice, natural juice, will make you use the washroom very often. Very acidic. Your location and the customers, the drink menu, type of bar all depend on the mixes that they use. Carbonated systems for soda, tonic, ginger, ale, etc. are common. Check the systems for the correct number of containers and have a backup container of each. The pressure gauge should read 60 psi. Carbonated beverages must be as cold as possible because they will lose bubbles and fill the glass with fizz at room temperature. Fresh or concentrated fruit juices may make the best quality drinks. Drinks made with fresh juices are usually a house specialty. You will use orange juice in some form. The bar may stock grapefruit juice if there is demand for it. Tomato, V8, and pineapple juice are canned juices. so not mixed from a bag. High volume bars use lemon and lime granules mixed with water. Directions for preparation are on each package. They are mixed in a large container or bucket, adding water and shaking vigorously to remove crystals from the bottom of the container. Fresh squeezed lemon and lime juice make the best drinks. However, they are not cost effective for many bars and are very acidic. Some people could get sick. Mixes for specific drinks such as pina colada and daiquiri are better quality in frozen concentrate than granules. Juices will keep for a day or two if stored in plastic or glass containers. A new batch should never be added to an old batch. Check the juices for freshness by tasting or smelling them. Keep backup juices refrigerated. Juices lose their flavor at room temperature. Simple syrup is sometimes used as a substitute for sugar because it mixes well. It is made by boiling or shaking equal amounts of sugar and water. Grenadine is a syrup used to color and flavor drinks. It is pomegranate flavored. Cream of coconut is coconut syrup used in tropical drinks. Check your milk and/or cream and whipped cream for freshness. Do not allow the customer to be the person to discover spoiled ingredients. For example, whipped cream can spoil very easily. Garnishes. So you will see in a future live how to cut your garnishes, selection, etc. Those are your lemons, limes, cherries, onions, olives. Garnishes will give your drinks eye appeal, since they're used to enhance the appearance of the drink. The fruit must be fresh. You'll be able to judge approximately how many garnishes you need by the day of the week it is. For example, you'd use more garnishes on a Friday in most bars than you'd use on a Tuesday. Wash citrus fruits before cutting. Use a sharp knife and cutting board. Always cut away from yourself. The standard garnishes are wedges, slices, twists, cherries, olives, and cocktail onions. Sometimes we even use a zest. Zest is just simply scraping the peel. To cut lemon or lime wedges, cut a small piece off each end of the fruit. Cut in half lengthwise with pulp side down. Cut each half lengthwise into wedges, the size you want. To cut orange or lemon slices, follow the same procedure as for the wedges. After the fruit is cut in half, slice into 1/4 inch pieces. Slices are sometimes placed on a bar and onto a pick with a cherry. The term for this is flagged. So if you use a bar pick and add a garnish, it's flagged. If you want a slice or wedge that will hook onto the rim of the glass, make a cut lengthwise down the middle of the half fruit before slicing and stick it on the glass. To make lemon twists, cut a thin strip of the lemon peel with a knife and twist. It is important to peel away the yellow part of the lemon skin without including the white underskin, which is bitter. Fruit wheels are made by simply slicing the fruit and cutting a slit in each slice to place in the rim of the glass. If olives, pineapple chunks, and pickled onions are used, no preparation is required. Check for freshness and store them in plastic containers. Olives should be rinsed under water to remove the oily brine. I'll show you an example. Get the photo here. What I just discussed. And we will have a future garnish, cutting, selection, application lesson. So these are the garnishes. Condiments are flavors used such as sugar, spices, Tabasco, bitters, Worcestershire sauce. Tabasco is a liquid, hot pepper, used in drops. Worcestershire sauce is spicy and brown. It is also used in drops, as it will add color to drinks, as well as flavor. Angostura bitters are packaged in a plastic squeeze container and dispensed 1 drop at a time. Condiment trays or saucers are filled with celery salt, sugar, table salt. So you could set out 3 small plates, put your rimming spices on there, and you just simply put your glass on, turn, rim it. Ice bins are filled shortly before your shift begins. Remember to use an ice scoop. So we have an ice scoop here, guys. Food and condiments should be positioned away from the ice since the ice is kept as clean as possible. Never reuse ice. Start each drink with a fresh ice and a fresh glass. Accessories that may need restocking are bar picks, straws, 5-inch for short drinks, 8-inch for tall drinks, stir sticks, napkins. Make sure snacks are placed at the bar shortly before opening. Some areas have banned free snacks which entice thirst, such as peanuts, pretzels, popcorn. This policy is due to a trend of promoting less alcohol instead of an access. You may see a jar of pickled eggs. That's to help with alcohol absorption. You can offer pickled eggs to your clients. Be sure that your drink trays and tip trays are clean. Check the supply of guest checks, drink lists, coasters, matches. After your bar is prepared for opening, the next step is to obtain your float or your bag. This is the amount of money given to you by the bar in order to make change for the customers. Cash registers should be checked for clear tapes. Stock extra cash tapes, charge slips, cashier's supplies. Find out the specials and the prices. When you complete your opening procedures, you're prepared to serve customers. Bar is open. So we'll get into mixology in a future lesson. So what is a cocktail? Method used to prepare a drink is build, stir, shaken, blend, layer. We'll get into all of that moving forward. We've now come to the point of the live where I'm going to take a break. So I'll pop on the camera and say hi. Hi guys. How's everyone doing? Thanks for joining us. Welcome. So yeah, today's attributes of a bar, open close procedure, customer service. We have covered the first 2 parts of today's live, and we'll do customer service in a few minutes. Appreciate you guys all being here. Hope everyone's having a good day. Alright, we're back. Hey Ben, welcome. I'm gonna turn the heat on, it's really chilly here. Audio and video check's good. Turn this down. Alright, you're gonna see that Jack Daniels blowing in a minute because I just turned the heat on, guys. Alright. Customer service. Bar managers and owners consistently hire staff who are customer service oriented. Your understanding of how to provide customer service to your patrons is extremely important. Beginning with the initial contact you have with the prospective employer, you should be able to discuss customer service from your point of view as a bartender. Bartending experience does not tell the employer that the applicant will be an asset to the establishment. Will they be a liability? Competition and changing trends within the hospitality industry have forced businesses to become more aware of customer needs. In many establishments, customer service training is provided to managers and supervisors. Employers recognize the need for customer service training for their staff. However, entry-level knowledge of how to serve your customers will give you a competitive edge during your job search. Money earned in the form of tips is often the number one reason people want to work in the hospitality industry. Your salary will probably be minimum wage when starting. The amount of money you earn from tips will depend on how well you provide customer service, whether the tip is 10%, 15%, or 20%. Depends on you. Increased earnings is incentive to serve your patrons well. As a bartender, you can help ensure that you will be employed. If you're providing the highest level of service in your establishment, you will be an asset to your employer. When you're consistently fulfilling your customers' needs and helping provide them with an enjoyable experience, your customer base will increase and your reputation as a professional bartender will spread. Satisfied customers will bring their friends and family. Competitors are constantly evaluating other establishments. They gather information on promotions, specials, prices, and staff. Your establishment and the competition need the most professional staff they can hire. If you build your reputation with customers and the staff in your establishment, your management will not want to lose you as an employee, and you will be sought after by the competition. Providing excellent customer service will guarantee your job security. Today's businesses lose 15% of their customers per year. 1% will die, 3% will move, 8% go to other loyal companies, and 3% go to competition. 14% due to dissatisfaction with products or services. 58% of this, 15% loss of business, is due to the attitude within the organization or lack of customer service. It can also be attributed to uncleanliness, improper safety and security. What is customer service and why is it important to you as a bartender? Customer service is simply meeting the customer's expectations. Every customer has expectations when they arrive at your bar. They want a friendly environment, prompt service, cleanliness, most of all, a feeling that their business is appreciated and that they're a valued customer. All of this occurs from the time the customer enters your establishment until he or she departs. What is the first impression we have when we enter a licensed establishment? It is usually based on what the customers and staff are doing. Do the customers seem to be enjoying themselves? Are staff serving customers? First, our responsibility to the customer is to greet them. Our responsibility to the establishment is to ensure the customer does not leave because there's no staff in sight to take a drink order, or staff is gathered in a group talking, gossiping, etc. Every customer and the money that they will spend in your bar is valuable to you and your manager or owner. To lose a customer is to lose money. Therefore, customer service begins before the customer is seated. From your vantage point behind the bar, you have a view of the establishment and activity in terms of customers entering or leaving. In most cases, you will be the first person that your customer has contact with. Whether the customer is seated at your bar or is walking toward a table, it is important to acknowledge his or her presence. A customer who is seated at a table where there are no waiter or waitresses present appreciates being told. For example, John will be there in a moment to take your order. You've acknowledged that this customer is present in the bar. A customer who has not been told that the staff is aware that they're there, there's no way of knowing how long it will take to receive service and will probably leave the premises. If you do not know when the waiter or waitress serving the section of the bar will return, ask the customer if you can take their drink order. A customer should be able to place an order for a drink in less than a minute after entering the bar. When a bar requires payment for drinks upon receipt, fill the drink order, accept the payment from the customer. The tip would be discreetly given to the waiter for that section when he or she returns. When a bar is divided into sections, the tip always goes to the person who's working that section. Yeah, I heard there was rain and a storm coming, so it came in on Blake in Hollywood last night, Ben. I do have someone in, North California, who told me that was coming, so. But I love rain, clean stuff, replenishes things, makes things grow. A professional bartender works with a teamwork approach. In the above instance, you will have done the waiter a favor, but more important, you have shown professionalism to the customer. This customer could have easily left your establishment and decided to spend their money elsewhere. When a customer is seated at your bar and you're momentarily busy, greet the customer and say that you'll be with them shortly. Acknowledge every customer who sits at your bar. Customer service in your position as a bartender will be in part acting as a host or hostess. React the same way as you would if you had guests in your home. Customers who feel welcome in your bar will increase the number of drinks purchased in the bar, and tips will be increased. Greeting and seating your guests congenially is the starting point from which your customers will view you as a professional. Why is the image you project important to you? There's high staff turnover in the hospitality industry. Whether or not you plan to make a career in this industry, your reputation will precede you and present opportunities for employment in establishments where your income will be increased. Also, references and recommendations from employers and customers are important in any job search that you will conduct in the future. Greeting customers properly is the first step in providing service. Oh, Admiral, hey. Just doing an audio check 1 2 1 2. Just doing an audio check 1 2 1 2. Hey, that's good. Compare signatures on card and charge slip. Return card and customer copy to customer. Place hard copy of charge slip and guest check with a float. Handling traveler's checks. Place total and currency on check. Witness customer signature. Obtain ID. Make appropriate change. Place traveler's check and float. Or gift cards or gift certificates. The procedure for credit cards and traveler's checks is similar wherever they are accepted. The only difference is with authorizations. Can you authorize them yourself, or do you require a superior to initial them? Cashing out. Total sales. Separate cash sales from non-cash sales. Record non-cash sales in total. Subtract non-cash sales from total sales. Prepare deposit by listing denomination of bills. Total cash deposit. Obtain required approvals, voids, promotions. Prepare required cash flow. Calculate overages and shortages. Follow deposit procedures. So opening and closing, you will always have a supervisor or another employee watch you cashing out. There should be a witness and sometimes an initial or signature on your document. Cashing out sheets vary depending on the establishment. A manager or supervisor will show you how to complete the sheet. When you first begin work in a licensed establishment, aim for accuracy, not speed. This will also apply when you're preparing beverages. When you're confident that you're performing the procedures with accuracy, then work on speed. And guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Alright, so I'm going to take a break and then we're going to review our responsible alcohol service and our bar terminology and bartending skills. And we'll finish up this lesson very soon. And next lesson we will go into mixology. So we're going to actually make some physical drinks on the next slide. So we're going to take a break, 5 minutes, guys. Here I am once again. Alright, responsible alcohol service review. So, this all stems from a family business that we had for decades. And we do have literature, books of responsible alcohol, shooters, books, and that's included with this course. We will do mail-outs eventually. There will be a select few from the attendance list that will be fully trained as a certified bartender. You'd be philosophically apt. So experience, education. We're going to go through the motions. There's several priorities a bartender must continually practice. We have team jobs in the industry because there are customers to serve. Our responsibility is to provide them with the highest level of service that we can. When we are hired, we must maintain and increase the customer base. Regular customers must have a reason to return to your establishment. The importance of customer service cannot be stressed enough. Product knowledge is part of customer service. New products are continually being introduced. Salespeople from the distilleries, wineries, breweries, distributors, t-shirt companies, sticker companies, they'll all update you on new products. Armed with this information, you will be prepared for customers' questions. Organization of your bar for speed and efficiency is important. Set up your workspace in the most convenient manner. Nothing to trip over, nothing to fumble your fingers on. Keep it clean all the time. You may be left-handed. Set up your bar so that equipment, garnishes, condiments, etc. are at your arm's length. Methodology, the methods of preparing drinks should be practiced until you feel comfortable with each method. So we will introduce you to mixology. We will practice until you're all comfortable. Making a drink in the glass, drinks that you build, or blending a drink using a blending machine requires only accurate measurement, consistent ingredients, and attention to presentation of the drink. Stirred drinks, Martini, Manhattan, Rob Roy, and shaken drinks, Slings, Tom Collins, Pink Lady, require practice so that the procedures become automatic. When you automatically pick the glass first, reach for the required liquor, and prepare the drink without thinking about what comes next, you're preparing the drink automatically. This does not mean memorizing drink recipes. It means that once you look up the recipe and glance at the card, looking for method, liquor, and mix, you can now prepare the drink. So literature such as our family business shooters book, Mulligan's Bar Guide, and something that's really common in real professional bartending industry is a Rolodex with index cards in it. So you would go to your local Staples, you would buy a Rolex, or a Rolodex, not a Rolex, a Rolodex with index cards, or put them in with your most common or uncommon drinks. Your Rolodex or recipe card file is essential, especially in an open bar concept. An experienced bartender uses the Rolodex to refer to when a less popular drink is ordered, to double check the ingredients or the method. The rimming of the glass, the type of glassware, the garnish, they're all important. The Rolodex is kept in your workplace or in your pit area. So your pit area is the area around your waist, your sink, your cloth, usually not in the bar itself where your customers can see it or rip out things to take home, or make spitballs with their straw with. So we'll review bar terminology next. Back bar. Bar area behind the bartender used for liquor, glassware, etc. So your back bar would usually be behind you like this, and it would be set up with all your rum, vodka, whiskey, gin. That's your back bar behind you. You keep your garnishes there generally too, and your rimmers. Back or on the side, mix serve separately. Bar brand is the least expensive liquor. Breakage is broken glass or utensils. Carafe glass container for wine, chilling, way to pre-cool glass, dash small amount, dry cocktails, warm beer, easy is little ice, flambe is a way to light alcoholic beverages on fire, and we'll show you how to do that. Float is the last ingredient added to the drink. For example, you'll learn when we do shooters, your liquor is heavier than liqueurs, your liqueurs are heavier than milk, milk is your float. It's the last ingredient for the shooter. Frappe mist served on crushed ice. Heating. An alcoholic beverage is heated in a ladle prior to adding it to the drink for flambe purposes. So you guys will understand what flambe is in the next live or two. Neat, straight up. Neat or straight up is no ice. So if I say I want a gin martini straight up, that means no rocks, no ice. On the rocks is on ice. Rimming refers to frosting the rim of a glass or mug with salt, celery salt, sugar. Select premium deluxe call brands are the more expensive brands of liquor, for example, Jack Daniels. Speed pour. A pouring spout for open bottles allowed for the smooth flow of liquid. You'll see that in the movie Kokomo or Cocktails. I forget what it's called. Yeah, Cocktails. So speed pour would go on here instead of this top here, and we'll show you that feature. Speed rail, bottle holder fastened to the front of the bar for the bar's most commonly used liquors and mixes. Simple syrup is a sweetener made with boiling water and sugar. A split is a small bottle, usually of wine or pop. So it could be a small bottle or can. There's a split. Shooter is a layered drink to be consumed in one swallow. We're going to have fun with shooters, guys. That's Future Live. Short is a short glass, the size of the glass. Tall is a tall glass, the size of the glass. Topless is no rimming, no salt or sugar, or celery salt. Virgin is a cocktail without liquor. Is very common this day and age. People don't want to make changes to their health. They've come so far, or they can't drink and drive, etc. Virgin is cocktail without liquor. For example, a Shirley Temple is a virgin cocktail. Most cocktails you can make virgin. Not with shooters though, of course, and not with flambe. Wet is martinis with more than usual dry vermouth. We'll get into martinis. They're one of the most important drinks you will learn how to make, and they have very, very huge differences. There's a lot of martini differences out there. With is served with a glass. Alright, we're finishing up, guys. This live is going really well today. Huge informational live, and I took some feedback, and I won't say from who, another streamer who generally feels uncomfortable in an educational setting. So that's why we went with the backdrop today and a non-physical direction. I want to make sure that some of the viewers' needs are included in moving forward, and especially this stream today. So that's why we have a backdrop and not me physically talking to you for 2 hours visually. So if you guys are wondering, that's why. Trying something different and to cater to a feedback request from another channel, another live, but definitely applies to people's ability to learn and their happiness levels. Okay, so bartending skills we'll review, and we're almost finished here today, guys, with the informational intensive bartending training, lesson 3. So if you haven't had attendance taken for lesson 1 and 2, go back through the lives, watch 1 and 2, and moving forward, I'll make sure you're here. Moving near the end, I'll ask you guys all individually questions, or as we're building and shaking and making our drinks, I will test your knowledge. So bartending skill review. Knowledge of bar inventory. Make sure you are familiar with everything beyond your bar, behind it, beside it. Knowledge of bar inventory. Politeness. Friendliness. Knowledge of wine inventory. So this is very important. Some bars don't serve wine, but if a customer goes in and likes the dry white wine, you should have knowledge of the difference between red and white, dry, sweet, or flowery. And that would go back to lesson 1, guys, our red and white wine service methodology. Ability to judge when to stop serving the customer, speed, cash skills, work well with fellow staff, ability to manage several orders at a time, accept criticism, maintain calm, and take charge during emergencies. So you will have an emergency manual or rules to follow. There's a first aid kit, fire extinguisher. There could be occupancy, how many patrons are allowed in that establishment. Things like if someone goes missing in a bathroom for a really long time, did they fall asleep? Did they hit their head? You're gonna have to get that door open. So you're gonna have to poke it open, key it open, kick it open, something. Exercise patience when provoked by inebriated patrons. Patience, eye contact, space, and always involve another staff member to help mediate or to take over. Formal, informal, adapt to your surroundings. So for example, bar around the corner serves wings. Everyone walks in maybe with a t-shirt and jeans on, but then there's the beautiful steakhouse down the road, and they require black pants or something colored reasonable. Definitely not anything with rips, etc. would be formal. Maybe a blouse or blazer is formal. Responsible to make instant decisions. So far, medical, police, even having to call a lawyer if you need to make an instant decision. Attending to customers' needs first. Respect for fellow staff regardless of your position. Everyone is a team player. Everyone's role is important in this bar. Bus person, dishwasher, toilet cleaner, game room, controller. Respect. Make sure you respect everyone, not just your customer. Air dirty laundry after your shift. Never while on duty. Don't mix business with pleasure, guys. If you're a bartender, you shouldn't be taking numbers for a date next week or stomping all over someone's ex who's in crying because he or she might have that person come in the door in 5 minutes. Just not good. Air dirty laundry after your shift, never while on duty. Everyone's listening. Nowadays, there's cameras as well in these establishments. They could have just video, they could have video or audio. Override personal feelings, never hold a grudge. Never say never, but try not to ever hold a grudge. Just move on, do your job. Share work equally, prep work, cleaning, etc. Just because you're the bartender doesn't mean your busboy isn't going to go home sick and all of a sudden you're a bartender and a busboy. Busboy means, or girl, or person, or whatever it. You come along with your tray, you're bussing the table, you're going to remove all the empties. That's bussing. Removal and clean. Follow chain of command as set by establishment. Contribute at staff meetings. Both positive and negative comments, it all matters. Your feedback is important. Examine career goals. Periodically, try to alleviate stressful situations in the establishment. No one wants to go drink or party in an uncomfortable environment, and no one wants to go work in one either. Share your knowledge, don't push it on people. So that's summing up. We went through attributes for working in a bar, opening and closing procedures, customer service. We reviewed responsible alcohol service, bar terminology, and moving forward with mixology and building drinks and stuff. We're going to go further into glassware selection. You'll learn more. You've learned some about wine service here, but there's a few other pieces of glassware that you will need to be knowledgeable about. We just don't grab any glass and pour a drink and give it to a customer. It depends on the volume of the make of the drink. It depends on the type or name of the drink. There's tumblers, fluted glasses, stemware. So, thanks all for joining us today. Really appreciate you. If you have any questions, type them in the chat right now, or go back to the live when it uploads later and type your comments or questions there. I will get to them. So, we'll do some shout outs. I'm going to write down attendance. So, 86, Adam, Abimanuel, just a sec, guys. Daniel, down in the well, Admiral. So we're going to wrap up this live, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Maybe back on later, pop up live for Halloween makeup. We'll see. If not, definitely tomorrow. So again, I appreciate you all for coming, participating. If you're watching this at another time, appreciate you then as well. And guys, in a couple weeks, we'll go full on. We're going to do methodology, mixology, shooters, shaken, stirred, strain, flambe. We'll get right into hands-on on our next intensive bartending training lesson. Bye, y'all. Appreciate you. Have a good day, guys.